Hello gardening friends, and welcome back to All About Gardening. My name is Madison, and today we are bringing back the wonderful Monstera to answer a question I get asked quite a lot. Do you need to clean their leaves? When you're growing Monsteras, there's so many things to think about, from watering to feeding to worrying about yellowing or wilting leaves, that cleaning is probably the last thing on your list. But today I'm going to tell you why it's so important and why you definitely need to add it to your care routine. Now, at the risk of exposing my own lack of cleaning routine at the moment, I've come up close on this very dusty and dirty leaf just to explain how this impacts the growth of your plant. We all know about photosynthesis and how plants use sunlight to make their own food, to feed themselves, grow new leaves, new roots. Essentially, it's how they keep themselves alive, which is also why they can't survive without sunlight. But when your leaves have this layer of dirt, they struggle to absorb as much sunlight as they normally do, which slows photosynthesis and slows the growth of your plant. Each leaf also has small holes in it called stomata. You can think of them sort of like the pores in our skin that exchange gas and water, and these also get blocked, impacting growth when there is dust on the leaves. Last but not least, they don't look great when they're dusty. There's a reason why we dust our homes regularly. We want the leaves to be green and glossy, not grey and dirty, so a regular cleaning is definitely needed. There are many ways to clean the leaves, from regular upkeep to a more deep clean, and I'm going to go through all of those methods with you now. Method number 1 for cleaning the leaves is super simple and easy to add to your regular home cleaning routine, and that is a simple light dusting as you go past the plant. If you dust your home once a week, once every 2 weeks, depending on how dusty it gets, all you have to do is brush off the leaves with your duster. This isn't a deep clean, but it does keep any layers of dust from settling, which makes later deep cleans much easier. When the layers of dust get a bit too thick for a regular dusting, all you're going to do is grab a wet cloth and simply wipe down the leaves. Make sure you wipe them gently, especially if your plant is struggling with a lack of humidity, because wiping them down can cause them to tear if the leaves are thin. Once you've dusted these off, you can leave them in a bright area just to dry off. Make sure none of that water settles, and then that should keep your leaves clean for the next couple of weeks. Wiping down each individual leaf can be quite time consuming, especially if your Monstera is healthy with plenty of leaves. In that case, you have a few other options, and the first is moving your Monstera into your shower. This overhead watering will get rid of any light layers of dust and hopefully trickle down to the leaves below to get rid of any stickiness there too. It replicates the rain they receive in their native habitats, keeping the leaves clean and glossy. When you move them to your shower, make sure you aim for room temperature water. Water that's too hot can burn the leaves, and water that's too cold can also shock the plant, leading to a couple of other problems. If you don't want to move your Monstera into the shower, or you want to avoid any dirt, you can also simply water from overhead. This helps if you have a dense plant with quite a lot of leaves, because you can get the watering can into these gaps to cover all of the leaves. Same process applies. Use room temperature water to avoid shocking the plant, and whenever you're done, move it to a bright area so that the leaves can dry off and prevent any water from settling. The next cleaning method is not one typically recommended for cleaning, but for improving humidity around your plants, and that is misting. Misting is a recommended practice for houseplants to create the tropical conditions that they prefer if the humidity in your home is too low. I don't typically recommend misting. I think it can cause more damage than good, especially if your plant is placed in low light, and the improvements on humidity last a couple of seconds at most, so it's not really worth the effort. But when it comes to cleaning, misting can be very effective. If you keep a misting bottle like this one near your plants and you spray them around once or twice a week, it can stop any dust from collecting and becoming that harsh, sticky layer that you have to remove by hand. Just make sure whenever you do this that your plant is in a bright area where this water can evaporate quickly, because if it stays on the leaves, it can encourage fungal disease and cause a bunch of unsightly spots on the foliage. The last two methods are slightly more unconventional, but still work in cleaning your Monstera's leaves. The first is compressed air. These cans of air are normally found online or in computer stores, and you can simply spray them to get rid of any layers of dust. They can be quite harsh, so you'll need to do it from far away. And if the leaves are quite delicate and thin, it's best to skip this and use one of the other more gentle methods. The final one is only really suitable for smaller plants that you can fit into a bucket or container. This one might even be too big. And that is simply dunking the entire plant in water. This gets rid of any dust on the stems and the leaves at the same time, and it also waters the plant thoroughly, allowing the soil to soak up any water. It's great if you haven't watered your plants in a while and the soil is compacted and hydrophobic, as it will complete watering and cleaning the leaves at the same time. The only problem is you'll need a sink, bath, or bucket big enough to cover the entire plant. So if you want to save water, maybe choose one of the other methods or only use this for your very small monsteras. With so many potential options for cleaning the leaves, there is no excuse not to keep your Monstera's leaves as lush and green as they were the day you bought them. If you want more Monstera tips and tutorials or general houseplant advice, check out the other videos on our YouTube channel or head to allaboutgardening.com.